Attention, please be advised. The following episode contains spoilers. Don't say we didn't warn you.
Yeah, go ahead. It's too short.
It's too short. It's only on Disney Plus. Welcome to Mandalorian, the Nerd-On show that covers the Disney Plus streaming show, The Mandalorian, now available on Disney Plus.
Thank you.
We exclusively, as if the company owns it.
But it's also on Disney Plus.
It's also on Disney Plus.
Playing on Disney Plus.
But if you are having a hard time finding it, I guess you can resort to Disney Plus.
Provided on Disney Plus.
Correct.
Published by Disney Plus.
Correct.
And developed
we'll keep
by
this
Disney
going,
Plus.
but before you turn off this podcast, thank you for joining us.
Let's introduce the host.
My name is Ollie, one of your hosts.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Tom, and this episode is brought to you in part by the wonderful people of the Nerd-On Nation, powered by Patreon. If you're not familiar with Patreon, it is a platform where you can support your favorite creators, such as Nerd-On and other podcasts like it. And you get, with a tier from $1 to $5 to $8, you get to have exclusive access to never-before-heard episodes, a Discord community where we talk about all the things that we love about nerdy stuff, and being part of our showcase, such as the Nerd-On Update, as well as Guess That Grump segments in our topical episodes.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And we post snippets here. We also post like uncut stuff, larger video format stuff from our YouTube channel. And if you also want to support the show, we have a running promotion with Comixology right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
That we do.
Yes.
But through the end of the year.
Yes. So using the promo code NERDON5, if you're on Comixology and want to read some comic books that have to do with Star Wars, like Lando and Vader and whatever they got.
Well, there's some new comics that are actually leading up to the new movie coming out.
Yeah.
They introduced things like General Akbar's son, Admiral Akbar's son,
and
to General Organa.
I was actually just thinking about it. If you have DC Universe like I do, then Comixology is probably the best place for you to buy comic books that aren't DC, such as Marvel, Image, and all the other wonderful publishers. For any $15 purchase or more, again, use NERDON5 to get as a promo code to get $5 off that purchase up until December 31st.
Yeah.
Use the link nerdon.io/Comixology.
Yeah. Or you can use it to get Klaus, which was our last week's episode. If you haven't
Fantastic
heard that
comic.
yet.
Definitely check it out. Check out the episode. But this episode is going to be focusing on chapter 5.
The Gunswinger.
The Gunswinger.
The hash slinging slash slinger.
Slash slinging slasher.
We're accepting now, I think, that they're 30-minute episodes with maybe a little extra, if they feel spicy.
Maybe they couldn't get the full assembly cut down.
I think that's just we just have to accept that that's the show. That they're 30-minute episodes.
I don't know.
I don't know if anyone expected anything,
I don't know
anything else.
I don't think they set any expectations.
Has someone
People
said that?
assumed.
Has someone said been angry? Like, why are these not hour-long
Did someone
shows?
assume they'd be an hour?
They did. I think so.
No.
I would also say this: everyone that's watching,
That's on
everyone
the
that's
audience
listening,
expectation. Yeah.
Look at every single Star Wars TV show. They're all
Half
30-minute
Yeah.
shows.
And it's this show is very reminiscent of like to use another fictional character, Rick Dalton era of Westerns.
Very much.
Where they're 30 minutes, the arc is complete by the end of the episode.
Yeah.
The big whatever baddie is dealt with by the end of the episode, and they move on to the next place.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to your new daytime television.
Yeah, it really is. It feels like
welcome to your new Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
And I love that format. Like
Me too. I'm actually
fine with it.
really excited about it.
And this episode, I think, kind of cemented it for me.
It kind of harkens back to the let's go watch Howdy Doody time. It's
not even that. Not so much that, but like if you ever watch a show like Davy Crockett or something like that, where you would have these celebrities come. It also helped me realizing this helped me like accept the fact that Taika was only in one episode, because you're like, oh. If it really is like these old Westerns back in the day where Rick Dalton would come for an episode to be the bad guy and get killed off, like it makes sense that we've seen, Taika Waititi is just in one episode or
Hold
so
on,
on and
hold
so
on,
forth.
hold on, hold on.
Yeah.
Don't get too far into who's in what episodes and all that stuff. I do have to make a quick announcement.
Yeah.
I apologize
Oh.
for anyone listening.
I wasn't going to spoil anything.
Oh,
I'm just
no,
going
yeah.
to talk about
I know
stuff
that's
we've
what
seen.
you said. I was like, hold
tread
on.
it carefully.
No, yeah, no. So I will say this: last episode on Mandalori-On, I spoiled some information about.
You were a bit brash.
I spoiled some information about characters who would be in future episodes. I won't say the names or what episodes it would be. And we got reached out by our lovely listeners on Twitter, which you can always do if you want.
We always love. And encourage.
If you want to like say what you love and what you don't like about the show, we want to always try to make the best show for you. And so with that, I'm going to say this in episode 8. Who's going to be? Okay,
No.
no, I'm going to double down. My name's Jimmy Kimmel. Fuck gamers.
Okay.
So I'm kidding. So
Jeez.
thank you for shouting out and speaking out. Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, staying away from that territory.
But in episode 7,
still, I think it still stands that we're getting these, or at least what's so far being presented as these like one-off character
Right. With
kind
the
of interactions.
full story arc that ties them together being the
They're-
Mandalorian and the Baby Yoda.
some would call it their episodic.
Yeah.
Some would say it's almost
Serial.
anthological.
Yeah.
And I think they're
Very much in the Dave Filoni type.
we can kind of
CSI or Law and Order.
No, Dave Filoni.
I know, but I'm just saying it's very Law and Order-ish, where you like,
Yeah.
you have the
and
arc. By the end, you're like, aha, it's done.
so I mean we can just transition right into our first impressions.
Yeah, we can do first impressions,
Um,
and we'll do a little bit of the production of what the episode had in
Yes.
store.
Yeah.
So who wants to go first?
I can do it.
Go.
Unless
Yeah.
you-
No, go for it.
We reopened.
Right off the
Ollie.
bat, I just gotta say, I'm always excited when I see Amy Sedaris in
Oh, yeah.
anything. I think she is a gem. It's nice that she's working on another Favreau project because, for those of you familiar, she was an elf. Stole every scene in Elf.
And she stealed
Go
it.
listen to that episode. So I was excited to see that. Being someone who is a minority supporter of the Phantom Menace, I was also excited to see the little droids, the little pit droids.
Mos Eisley.
Yeah, man, it's Mos Eisley. It's
Out of
fucking
nowhere.
Tatooine. Yeah.
Super surprised.
Easter egg after Easter egg.
Yeah.
For us, which was very, very nice. At first, when I first digested the episode, I was like,
was it at first?
at first, when I digested the episode at first I was like, just at first, I was like, did I enjoy that? Because the name of the actress is slipping my mind real quick. Who played?
who was
Ming-Na
in-
Wen?
from
Yeah.
Shield. Yeah.
I was bummed that her arc is complete within an episode, but then that's when the realization happened for me that I had just been talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with someone, and I was like, oh my God, this is Star Wars is of the era of, these spaghetti westerns and stuff like that were like on the fly, let's finish the arc, that kind of thing. So after I came to that realization, it helped me cope with the Taika death in the first episode and that kind of stuff. And I ended up liking it a lot more. I enjoyed the Easter eggs a lot. I wouldn't say it's my favorite episode.
Yeah.
Because 3 still holds that title in my heart.
Yeah. It's hard to pass it up.
But it was nice. It felt very 70s era Star Wars. And there's something I really loved about that. As a maybe, nostalgia kick.
Yeah. It was I again had a couple of the very similar realizations during this episode. And again, same thing. Like I don't know how much I enjoyed I mean, I did enjoy the episode. I think it was pretty decent. And it was interesting that like you realize that Star Wars with this format is letting us do that, is letting us have the characters like IG-11 or IG-88 or whoever. Is IG-88 in this?
IG-11.
IG-11 is in this show.
Yeah.
To get character
He's
like
the
moments like
garbage
that.
one.
Right, well,
And they're using a lot of comedians, which is interesting because
Yeah.
I just learned this for some reason. It avoided my trivia, but the blue guy from the first episode, that's Horatio Sands from SNL.
Really?
Yeah, his first bounty is Horatio Sands from SNL.
Oh Jesus!
And
shout out to
also
Carbonite.
the guy who drives the ice speeder on the ice in that first episode, who gets eaten by the fish, is also another stand-up comedian from Just Shoot Me and other things.
Yeah,
like
I
that,
recognized him from stuff.
Anyway,
but that's what I mean is that you can bring in these one-off like guest high-profile actors, and like have really cool, interesting characters for like a half an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
And not have to commit to like a saga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's really nice in that sense. So like the assassin and the sort of junior bounty hunter. This episode just
Double
gave us
crosser.
yeah,
Felt
double
really
crosser.
good. Felt
Right.
very Han Solo, very Lando Calrissian.
It was very much like in that Western thing, and like her interactions with him and like that stuff was pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, it was just a lot of really great, I think, like sort of moments in the life of how cutthroat it is out here on the Outer Rim.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. So I dug it from that perspective. Pit droids, like, come on, like that
made me happy.
Best fan service you could have given for this episode. If we just what I was thinking, there's a scene, not spoiler alert, obviously, but when he's walking, when he's walking out, I mean, this might be a favorite part, kind of, but when he was walking
Remember this
out,
was initial impressions.
when he was coming out of the shop for the first time onto the streets of Tatooine, I was thinking to my head, and he's just saying, "I'm here to buy moisture evaporators and bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum," or something like that.
Go down the Tashi State and get some power converters.
Yeah, that's all I wanted. That's all I was thinking of. So it was cool to have that sort of like fan trip.
So Tom, bring us down.
For me, yeah, my initial reaction. I think this is probably the worst episode so far.
Mhm.
Not saying like it's garbage and blah blah.
Just in comparison.
In comparison to all of them, I think it's probably the weakest. Mainly because nothing really happens at all. The main thing that happens in terms of a story is like there's a boot next to Ming Na Wen's face.
There's a lot of theory about that.
Who's that?
And theory doesn't do anything on screen. So like it's cool, it's fun.
No, that wasn't my argument.
I know, I'm just saying, but it's like on screen, it's like nothing happens. Like we get a character that we get a lot of characters that nothing really happens with, and then we get Mando who just kills people.
But such is the Western.
Yeah, so
that's like every Western TV show is nothing really happens, and everyone kind of ends up right back where they were.
But I mean, there's even at a point where it's like I don't even care to root for anybody because it's like, well, obviously Mando's not going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously like the only person that I like, hopefully she was
Amy Sedaris'
character. Hopefully she doesn't die.
The mechanic.
That was it. But I was like, junior bounty hunter, like you.
Well, at that point, you're going for a little bit of that popcorn value of like that combined with you love the character, so you want to see what shenanigans they get to week to week.
It's much like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Buffy's never gonna die.
Yeah, right. I know that.
So
but
when someone's gonna double cross her, and when
that double cross happens, it's with the character that's been in for more than one episode.
Yeah,
and so it's not with someone who's like, "This is my first time." What are you trying to really double cross the dude with Beskar armor? Like, literally it's worth a lot now at this point.
Yeah.
That could take a shot, and you plan to take his baby. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like a Batman. It's like you plan to blackmail him? Good luck.
Blackmail this person?
And so that's the crazy thing. I mean, I liked Ming Na Wen's, guest appearance. I wouldn't say it's a cameo. I'd say it's a guest appearance.
Yeah.
I liked, seeing him interact with another bounty hunter, but we've already seen him interact with other bounty hunters before.
Mm-hmm.
And then
the Easter eggs.
Yeah. And so for this, it was more just like, cool. It's a story. So, but to me, it's definitely the weakest story. But I think overall, like, this is, to me, in some sense, like, I could love to see no more Star Wars movies. Mm-hmm. And I would kind of love to see just different Star Wars shows.
Yeah.
That'd be
I agree.
Awesome. And I think where they could definitely hit their stride, it made me think about it. I'm like, they're definitely sitting on a pile of IP that they can make Star Wars into a Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have to make Star Wars into an MCU.
Mm-hmm.
They can make Star Wars into a Game of Thrones. And I think that's actually, to me, to their benefit, do longer episodes, but do 10 episodes, or do 6 episodes.
I mean, we're not talking Mandalorian.
Yeah.
We're talking a different show, because I don't think that would work for.
But also, like,
it could do that with another Mando, with another character.
Yeah.
It could be great. Like, it could be like the first Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And it'd be hour-long epics.
Mandalore.
Yeah, and
it'd
be cool. So like, definitely like having that week to week and having a TV show sensibility. And like, I like it. Like, I'm watching other shows as we speak as well. Like, I'm on the second season now, Rebels, and like, it's just littered with.
Are you liking it?
I like it a lot. And there's a lot of things in there that animation gives way to that live action can't get away with.
Yeah,
and vice versa. That like, you can't get some of the seriousness in animation that you can get with live action.
I think they can get pretty weird with Star Wars if they wanted to. Like the way like WandaVision, whatever that's going to be.
Well, they
can have different genres.
I want a character that's I don't know if I'm pronouncing it, Twi'lek. It's it's the race that has the like long appendages over their heads.
To be confused with like Ashoka's.
No.
Wrist.
Theirs actually drooped down.
Yeah.
The first, I mean,
And
I
there's
think
no painted color or anything.
I think
like
the first one you saw was in Return of the Jedi, was with the guy who works for Jabba the Hutt, the guy with like the big boobs on his head,
Yeah.
with the red eyes, and those are typically men. But the women can be like green and blue and all this other stuff. And I was like, oh, because anyways. But yeah, so should we go into production and then get into the episode?
Yeah, and I have some of the Easter egg drops and fan theory stuff I'd like to discuss a little bit as well.
Yes. Of course.
So we all know everything at the top. But the director for this episode is Mr. Dave Filoni, who best known for Clone Wars or Star Wars Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, and Star Wars Resistance. They're all also provided by Disney Plus. And I was looking at Ollie for that dramatic pause. Other than Pedro Pascal, we have Amy Sedaris, who is best known from Strangers with Candy, Elf, and Puss in Boots. Jake Canaval, who is best known from Nurse Jackie, Romance and Cigarettes, Eat, Brain, and Love. And Ming-Na Wen from Mulan, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Street Fighter as Chun-Li.
Yep.
I had to just say Chun-Li. The episode with the credits as well as the sneak peek, or as the previous, is 35 minutes, but without that, it's about 30 minutes. The episode premiered on December 6, 2019, and the Rotten Tomatoes score since last time we recorded went up 5 points critically. So it's at a 94% critics and 95 for audience.
Nice.
So, but you know what's weird? You can't read one review on Rotten Tomatoes.
Why?
They're just not there.
Oh, interesting.
But their Google reviews are there. But Rotten Tomato reviews aren't there. It's crazy. I was looking for it.
Rotten Tomatoes is whack anyway.
It's those Disney ninjas.
Yeah.
As we say, the points are all made up and the points don't matter. Should we just jump into favorite parts here?
Yeah, we've gone through everything else, right? Oh, wait, brief synopsis of the episode.
Oh, right. So Mando and the baby land on Tatooine, Mos Eisley to be specific, after getting in a ship battle, which they barely escape from.
Yeah.
Where he steals his line. Loved that bit, by the way. That's my line. I am a sucker. You'll learn this about me. If this is your first episode, I am a sucker for the let's say something before we kill the bad guy.
Oh, one-liners are like, they need to come back more.
They need, for those of you who are wondering, at the top of my list, it is from The Thing, where the Thing roars at Kurt Russell and he says, "Yeah, fuck you too," and throws a stick of dynamite at it.
The
So
tough thing about one-liners, though, is that like you can't really plan for them.
who's the king of the one-liners?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Of course.
Yeah.
And he says you can never plan for him.
No, but I think there's like a half-hour video of all of his or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
The best ones are the
they land on Mos
organic ones.
Eisley. They are meted. I'm doing well tonight.
Steeled and meated.
They are met by a mechanic with 3 pit droids, played by Amy Sedaris. He pays for the docking fee, but to get it all fixed up, he's going to need more money. So he goes into town looking for work, where he meets a wannabe bounty hunting guild member.
Pretends to be all cool.
Finds out it's his first one, smashes the puck so that the Mando has to use him in order to find the target. Who is a legendary assassin who has killed countless people from the guild.
Yep.
The phrasing is, whoever's gone after it doesn't make it till sunrise.
There you go. And we find out why. So we go into the Dune Sea of Tatooine, where we are greeted by a couple of Tusken Raiders, sand people.
Yeah.
In a very cool moment.
A barter is made.
And they get safe passage across, where they've met with a sniper, which is their target. So they wait until nightfall. They both take off on their speeders, which are, I forget the actual, swoop bikes. Excuse me. They are swoop bikes, not speeders. Take off on their swoop bikes using flares to break the scope.
Which was cool.
One thing leads to another. Mando gets shot off his bike. Our new guy gets up there, has little fisticuffs, and the Mando sneaks.
Fucks up a shot,
sneaked it up on her, and they arrest her. So they have only one swoop bike left. So the Mando says, "I'm going to go look for a dewback after some negotiation. Stay here." She tries to talk the new guy into, "Hey, let's work together and bring this Mando in. He's betrayed the guild. He's worth countless amounts of dollars. You'll be a legend." And he says, "That's a good idea." Shoots her in the gut and rides off on his swoop bike. One thing leads to another. Dewback ensues. The Mando finds the guy there with the baby Yoda, with the mechanic played by Amy Sedaris at gunpoint. Gets him to drop his gun. He puts his hand behind his back, where Amy Sedaris sees that he has a flare. Very John McClane style.
Yes.
Shoots the flare, dips around a barrel,
Shoots the boy.
shoots him right in the chest, and they take off happily ever after paying what looks like a shit ton of money.
That was
to
a
Amy
lot of
Sedaris.
money, it looked like.
Will this cover it?
Well,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that'll
she
cover it.
charged extra for babysitting.
Yeah.
That's why.
And then was very, and then I think also, man,
Probably got
just a
even
good dude.
more than
Oh
she
yeah.
wanted.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously he's been there more than once,
Yeah.
and they have a relationship.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that about sums it up,
Bum, 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 bum. Yep.
right?
that's it.
And then we see
Mhm.
Boots
Maybe see
walking
Boots.
towards the corpse.
Brown
in the
boots,
desert.
black boots, green boots. Sorry.
So, I think that was about 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, favorite parts. My absolute favorite parts is the Tusken Raiders, the Sand People.
That's a.
Yeah, and
okay, now I
here's
get it.
here's one of the reasons is this show has now made them canonly sneaky.
Yeah.
So remember when it sneaks up on Luke and it's like
Yeah.
right in the goggles. It happens again and another, I forget what else, but now it's canon that they are just
I love that.
sneaky as shit.
Like asking yourself, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Well,
how did they
What's
get
this
there?
shit?
Well, if they're like John Turturro's character from Mr. Deeds, sneaky,
Yeah.
sneaky stuff.
But they were also, like,
I'm very
quiet.
sneaky.
They weren't like attacking.
No,
No.
But
I think they
choose
know.
to be loud.
I think
Yeah.
I think they know what Mandalorian armor looks like too.
Yeah.
They'll attack a farm boy.
Right.
And the moment, just having that moment of them like negotiating, and it's just a side you don't get to see of the Tusken Raiders
and like
very often.
that they see themselves as the locals and everybody else as the invaders. So that's
Yeah.
like, it's interesting, like Native American vibes there.
Yeah,
and, it's
and
like,
he
okay.
barters them safe passage for the binoculars.
Yeah, that's like-
Anyway,
that's a
that
good
was
deal.
probably top of my list.
That's
Favorite.
pretty great. Yeah.
I think my favorite's actually probably when the child, that's the name, Baby Yoda gets out of the ship, because Mando puts the baby away and to go do his job, but then Peli is just playing games with the little droid bots. And all of a sudden, she goes and takes care of the baby, and just kind of like, I don't know, get something with bones to feed it.
and
was
she
great.
likes the baby a lot.
Yeah, of
Something with
course.
She
bones,
super
that's
cares about the baby.
And I think that's kind of wonderful.
Yeah. I like her character was a really great addition to this show.
Yeah.
Again, it gave it that very 70s start, like New Hope vibe.
Well, also it's like, cool, the first person that doesn't come and attack you.
Mhm.
You know, it's like someone that kind of loves you like a older sister would.
Yeah. Also, did you notice when she asks the pit droids, should I do it? One throws his hands up like, I don't know. One nods and the other one shakes its head
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
I was
that's
like,
funny.
great, you guys are a lot of help.
Yeah, so I liked her, and like you know, when every moment with her and the baby Yoda, like whenever like when Mando comes back and finds out the baby is missing, and then she's like, I'm awake.
And then it starts crying. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, no.
Yeah, like, what did you do? You woke it up.
Yeah.
So it's like that's a fun piece of it, you know, like a bit of a breath from like the guns and blazing. Which also, I'm sorry, I'm going to steal this one. A good favorite part of mine is actually how the episode starts. It's very Dave Filoni-esque, where we're in the middle of
Of a
an
battle.
action sequence.
Yeah.
Just to get to, and that's kind of the thing with all I've been
That's my
noticing
line. I
with
love
Rebels and Clone Wars. It's like at the end of the battle, this is where the narrative starts. And I like that style because that works really well for TV, especially like this.
Yeah. Get their attention.
Most, you know, shows or hour-long dramas are just like continuation stories, and so it's like it feels like one giant movie sometimes, depending if it's different directors and shit like that, or how strong the showrunner wants to hold on to it. But like with this, it's like cool. Yeah, start in the middle of a battle because we know. I was actually starting to get to the point where it's like, I don't know how good this Mandalorian is actually. I think he might be just as garbage as Janko and Boba.
It's clear that he's not a great warrior, but he's like on his way. He's pretty
he's smart.
skilled.
I would
He's
say
smart.
this. I think
Super smart.
he would best Boba, but he might have his trouble with Jango. I would say. Just
Nah.
cinematically, I just feel like, I mean,
'Cause
Jango
he
went against
nearly adopted the
against
doctor?
Mace Windu. Everyone dies against Mace Windu. Palpatine died, like got whooped by Mace Windu.
Yeah.
So
So
went about it the wrong way.
I'm just saying.
But also, Jango didn't have Beskar.
Yeah, that's
true.
true. But
Steel.
but
Yeah,
also he didn't
something.
get shot a lot either, and this guy got shot a ton.
I think my favorite moment, honestly, is just him landing in the beginning to Mos Eisley, like him being like with the radio to the planet to
Mhm.
Tatooine and being
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're dock, whatever. Like, great, I'm putting in, locked into the dock or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, just having that happen was awesome.
It was great. It was a
Um,
good feeling. It was
and
like
then
coming home.
And then I really like their attack. Their like attack.
Oh,
plan.
there's swoop bike.
swoop bikes
Oh,
with
yeah,
the
so it
flares.
it was nice to see
I was
the
like,
swoop bike.
That's smart. Like
I-
this is a really cool encounter where I'm watching you like time these flares to where you know she's got to line up the shot a little
Did
bit.
you guys ever play any game like Shadow of the Empire?
No, I didn't play that one.
So Shadow of the Empire, you are this character named Dash Rendar, who's like friends with Han Solo and Luke and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of takes place, if I'm recalling correctly, it takes place between like New Hope and Empire, or Empire and somewhere in there right before Return of the Empire.
During the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Before Carbonite.
And one of the main things you do is you're on a swoop bike out to meet Luke in the middle of Tatooine. And so seeing the swoop bikes, I was like, oh my gosh. Dash Rendar.
It must be right before Jedi then.
Were you gonna? I was gonna say, were you gonna go get parts from the Tashi station?
Exactly. Yeah, no, but it was right. Must have been right after Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see those in action, and they're like race up was like felt really good.
Yeah.
Reminded me a lot of.
But he was in Carbonite.
No, yeah. I mean, to me that kind of. I mean, I liked this seeing how they take out a sniper, because it's like, to me, it's pretty rudimentary, because I feel like that's like video game logic.
It is.
And it's like, that's what happens. Like, they can't shoot you, they can't see you. But some of the things I did like about it was that, like, how the Mando knew, like, oh, that could only be shot with an MK, rifle, blah blah. Like, this, like,
stuff.
If we alternate flares,
yeah. And then also, it's like, we're gonna wait till nightfall. It's like, cool, he knows what to do. It's like, I like seeing effective characters, and it's like, cool, he knows what he's doing, and it's like, yeah, this all makes sense. And so, like, seeing Star Wars do that in this realm, it feels nice.
It's also interesting that, like, I feel like he could have gone for her at any point. Maybe he didn't know there was a bounty on her head until that moment.
Well, I also don't think he really cared.
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But also, like, if someone else has it, I don't know if he would have accepted the mission as well. Because, I mean, this guy tends to...
They mentioned her before. They mentioned her...
Did they?
In an earlier episode.
Her faces? Oh. Possibly. But, I mean, also, it's kind of like, going back to video game logic, it's kind of like, sometimes you don't go for certain missions, and you just want to get the other one that's going to get
easier and also get you more money.
Right.
And, like, until the child, he really had no other reason to do anything.
Also, like, I guess the guild might be not necessarily all connected. Like he might be dealing with the local system.
Yeah.
With Carl Weathers' planet.
Yeah, it's like it's the current mission set in this region.
This region
versus
exactly.
That
exactly like World of Warcraft.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, like, yeah, and to me again, like, he doesn't, like, if obviously to me again in a hand-to-hand combat, it feels like he probably would have bested the assassin, but then, like, again, why would he go for it if there's probably not that much money?
Yeah.
And I don't even think
that's why
compared to the child, there is not even nearly enough money.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to. Yeah, that's why I wanted to check. I want to go back and check the other pucks, because this one was 10,000 credits. So I want to go look to see what
the other ones were.
The other ones were.
Yeah, I mean, it still could have been high, but then also, like, again, efficiency, right? And plus, he probably didn't want to get away too far from his Mandalorian cave. So
I'm also really excited to figure out what Navarro is.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it was the Mandalorian Enclave, but I want to know what happened there.
Yeah, where did they go?
Another favorite.
They said they're going to move it.
Another favorite part. It's not even a part. It's a frame. It's finally seeing those damn stormtrooper helmets.
Oh yeah,
on the
trailer.
pikes. I'm just like, God, finally.
Yeah.
And
you mean like cool. You mean from seeing him on the trailer?
Yeah, but then seeing him in this film, in this episode, finally, and it's like how he walks through the city with the cape,
and what Tatooine thinks of the Empire.
Yeah, so I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
I'm down
Their
with that.
boy, like, we're on his side.
Shit's rough in there.
But no. Navarro
or Luke just went, you don't like the Empire.
When he's talking to the assassin, she's saying, "Don't see many Mandalorians around, ever," and she goes, "Must have survived Navarro," or something to that effect. So something happened. Some like mass Mandalorian extinction.
Was that it, or was she referring to just the Tuffle or whatever that she learned?
Was that on Navarro?
That must have been the planet.
Possibly. All I know is that
because I feel like she repeats it almost verbatim to him.
Oh, okay.
All I know is that in Rebels, there's still a lot of sections of Mandalorians still around.
Yes.
And the Protectors is the one that I recently watched. And that section was like allied with the Empire.
Yeah.
But I don't know what section that this Mandalorian's from.
So, because I don't think we heard the name of the planet
I thought the same
before.
thing when I saw it. When she first says
Navarro.
it. And then when she says it to the kid.
So that must have been the name of the planet.
I was like, oh, I wonder. Oh, she must have been referencing that. But,
yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. That's probably where that big battle went down in episode 3.
But I mean, to your point, they're relocating somewhere.
Yeah.
And he's got to go back for that left thigh.
The Mandalorian's bounty hunter guild planet is called Navarro. I'm looking it up online.
There it is.
On the Google.
See, I thought I saw that,
Google.
and then I saw other ones where they're like Mandalorian Enclave, and I was like, huh, what?
It's probably common knowledge that Enclave was there.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're in hiding
Yeah.
necessarily.
So Navarro is that planet.
Yeah.
Ah,
But now they've got to
nerd
find
on
a new place.
as always.
So,
Yeah. So pretty much, yeah, it didn't survive Navarro, as in like.
do you think we'll
There's-
circle back with? Then we must, right?
Hey, look, I'm not here to talk about future
Okay.
episodes because I get in trouble.
You know?
Nah.
Do you know that? I mean,
I will say this though.
is Jean Favreau and
Well, no. Apparently,
Episode
the publicist, the PR agency for whoever does this shit, dropped the synopsis for the last episode, so it is
shit.
out there. But I didn't read it. I'm not gonna say shit.
I'm not gonna read it.
I'm gonna read it. For
Any other favorite parts?
No.
I have a lot of favorite parts, but they have to do with the Easter eggs that I will talk about at the end of the episode. So
we
I'm
can
just- I'm gonna
we
save 'em.
can
sure. Yeah, save him.
we'll gush more at the end if we think of things. But let's move to
Favorite character for the episode?
favorite character.
Amy Sedaris.
Amy Sedaris.
100%.
Pelly.
Pelly, is that her
Pelly is
character's
her
name? I just yeah, I'm a sucker for Amy Sedaris, first of all. I just think she's got some charm, some spark that just I like every character she's played.
She had dialogue.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's between her and the
What?
sniper, but I think I
because
just
she had
enjoyed
dialogue?
Yeah.
Everyone else had dialogue?
Not that much.
the
The
sniper.
assassin-
Other than
and
other than Mando. Other than Mando.
What's her name? The sniper.
The actress?
Yeah.
The character's
The
name is
character.
Fennec
Fennec.
something.
Fennec. Like she was cool,
I just think of Fox. That's why.
but it just wasn't. There wasn't enough of her, and that's one of
Oh,
the
yeah.
things you are not. I guess robbed of is sort of like the harsh term to use, but it's just you don't get
You
to
don't-
explore the characters as much with this.
Format.
You get her in 2 scenes,
Which is the
and
point,
you
though.
get her
Yeah.
as like a badass person, and then that
which could be
it.
spun to like a good thing because like I want to learn more about her and what her deal is and why she's so nefarious.
And we might.
and-
Who knows?
You might.
Judging by that teaser at the end.
Maybe she Force ghosts.
Yeah.
Shout out to George Lucas.
Shout out to Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qualms?
Yeah, we can move qualms.
Who wants to go first?
I can start us off.
Yeah, go ahead. It's too short.
It's too short. Only on Disney Plus. I don't know. I've come across this with a few shows as of late, or a few things as of late. It seems to be mostly TV, but for
Oh, you
some
weren't
reason, night scenes are not lit well enough.
This show
It's
is
weird to
especially
say.
dark.
It's very dark, and like I'm thinking of just the night scene, and specifically the fight between the kid and her when he sneaks up behind her or whatever.
I turned my lights out when I watched it, so it wasn't bad. 'Cause it's the only light in my room.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't do that because I
I-
watched it on my lunch break during
Yeah.
the day.
I
And
didn't have that issue, and I would say this. I think that's actually stemmed because of the push of digital filmmaking, because a lot of people like really dark scenes nowadays. Like
you can have dark though. I feel like with still a few key lights to like get you better edges
That-
and
that-
get you.
that guttural thing was me putting up my quotation fingers.
Yeah,
I was like, ish, because
Because I remember when like Blair Witch Project came out, everyone loved just handheld
Oh God, yeah.
yeah,
Gave me fucking
cinema verite, I guess.
vertigo.
Or guerrilla shooting, wherever the hell it is. But a lot like with a film called Collateral, Michael Mann developed these like lights for it and shot it all in digital. It was like huge that he did that, and people
Mhm.
like loved that aesthetic. And
Yeah.
people just
Also,
kinda
fun fact about that: he made all the lights yellow on purpose because LA was going through transition where they were changing to LEDs, and a
Mhm.
big part of LA at the time was the yellow street lights.
and so that's also a
So he
thing.
preserved it on film, which is pretty cool.
And that's
Yeah.
also a thing for me. Like, I really don't like white LED look. I like yellow tungsten hard shadows. But a lot of people typically prefer very flat.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty much a minority, I think, in that sense.
I'm with you. I like dimension.
Yeah,
What
I
does
want to
Nolan
see.
like?
Nolan likes high contrast.
Yeah, it's fucking
High contrast.
brilliant. I mean, which is what you need for a Batman movie.
And
But-
so, but I mean, I like that for everything else because to me, you're setting a tone, you're setting emotion.
yeah,
But some people like not saying what your qualm was, but like some people just like want to see everything as if it was in a soundstage.
right.
But yeah, I do agree. Like if you had like one key light, like just kind of shot, and you had it like flagged off to just
Yeah.
show a face.
Because I mean, there's a couple things famously, but one of them that I'll never forget is the Fast and the Furious,
Mhm.
the drag race scene,
The first one?
the first one.
Okay.
There is a massive spotlight
Oh,
at
for
the
sure.
end of the street
Oh, for sure.
for no reason, like within the scene
Oh, yeah.
for no reason.
Oh yeah.
but then you zoom back at a weird there's like a couple aerial shots where you see that spotlight even.
Oh,
And
yeah,
it's
for
like,
sure.
what home? Like you don't have to go that egregious, but like there's chance to play. Like,
Yeah.
have fun with color.
Well, that's
like,
the thing.
have
It's like,
fun
do you
with,
want to
like-
see it or do you not want to
But
see
that's just
it?
me, my preference. Yeah, it's like,
And that's the tough
what
thing.
do you
It's like,
value in the
to me,
aesthetic? of
I'd
what you're doing?
rather see it instead of kind of guesstimate what's happening.
Right.
Unless it's super intentional. When you can tell it's intentional, like if you have issues with it,
Horror
I'm
Right.
having
You can
issues with
tell
it.
when it's intentional.
Yeah.
Is what I
Yeah.
don't think this was intentional.
Yeah.
This was just
That's
a dark
that's a mistake.
scene.
Mhm.
Right.
That some would say.
I didn't care for the writing for the new Gildy.
The noob.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it felt a little
Sucked.
flat, and I don't want to. I think the actor did fine with what he was given.
Yeah.
Because that's tough. But I was disappointed because Filoni's usually pretty good, but then I realized he writes with other people a lot.
I also would say
he
this.
wrote alone.
I mean, okay, and this is also an argument and a discussion point to just talk about. What is Star Wars?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Is it still the children's movie with space wizards? Or is this something different? Because Filoni,
Well, the movie, yes, but the TV show, no, because it
It's-
wasn't. That's not how it's targeted.
this show,
Yeah.
but all the other shows are.
Right.
And so that's why I'm like, Filoni's strength is showing and it's coming into this and it's not.
His strength is kids writing.
Not translating.
Well,
what
it's,
you're trying to say?
it's very different than how you would perceive it on this because it's like, it just seems like, yeah, it tells a story across, but like with the voice actor, and Corey, you know this, like
Yeah.
you amp it up.
Mhm.
With film, you pull it down.
Mhm.
And so like with that kind of writing, if you had Steve Blum behind it, it sounds
Oh, you saying
badass.
his strength is writing animation,
Possibly.
right?
Maybe writing characters
Because
that
until this point, I haven't felt that way about the dialogue, and maybe
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
Favreau's strength
Mhm.
is live action dialogue.
Maybe. Yeah.
But that character felt very just felt flat for me,
It was very generic.
and I
like,
think there
nothing-
was a lot of opportunity to make it really interesting.
Yeah.
As a character, wanted it to be very Lando. Like his arc is very Lando,
Mhm.
ish, until Lando flips back once he realizes
well,
that.
except we don't care about the character at all.
Right.
And neither does Mando.
But he could have had more of that debonair kind of charm to
Well,
him.
and so that actually kind of brings it to my point a little bit about the character and that the character himself is a qualm. Because it kind of does mean a lot when a star is in that role. And I feel
Right.
weird to say that, where it's like if that character had been Woody Harrelson, that would have been a different thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If that character had been Timothy Chalamet, Anton Yelchin, a younger kid-like
Because
character,
they would have brought their
there would have been some kind of
Taron?
thing. Huh?
flavor,
Taron Egerton, probably. And that's a
their
shitty
imprint.
it's a very shitty thing to think about and say, but star power is a real thing and it does affect how
Yeah.
we ingest things.
And the writing could have been better.
yeah, but like this character is like Mando has no worth to deal with them, is a means to an end, and then like you guys okay, so harken back, shout it back, throw back to our Cowboy Bebop episode.
Mhm.
Remember the episode where he took on that little young protege and
Yeah.
like taught him how to like be like water and fight martial arts and stuff. And
Yeah.
at the end, he spoilers dies.
Mhm.
That to me would have been a little bit nicer because then we felt more sympathetic for him.
Right.
And
You know who could have played that role really well and sold it is, do you know who Ben Feldman is?
No,
Have you ever seen the show Superstore?
no,
Um,
no.
No.
You'd know Ben Feldman.
Ben Feldman.
This guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh
for
yeah.
sure.
I think he would have brought that little extra star power. Not too much,
Mhm.
but enough where he's the kind of actor you immediately care about because you've seen him before. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I like this guy. And I think that that is no fault of the actor who was cast
Mhm.
at all.
I think it has. It's
Obviously,
it's,
that's a great opportunity for his career.
it's everything. It's directing. It's writing. And to me, it's like that's why I would say like this episode I think is the weakest of all. Of
Mhm.
them. And it's just because like you kind of threw a character that the whole narrative surrounds this character bringing in narrative to Mando's
The
life.
casting was wrong.
I mean, possibly. I mean, like to me, like I didn't think certain people can act, and then all of a sudden I just like, oh, you just need a good director. It's,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
can act, but they just need to pull it out of you.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Mhm.
oh, you can
'Cause
direct.
this
You just
guy
need a
was
good writer.
this guy was a legit actor. Like he did it fine.
Yeah.
But like you're right. You needed that little extra star power to be like,
Something.
I mean,
trust this person.
there
You
is-
know him.
There is a little subversion, and it's done well with camera. Where like when you first see him, he's like sitting at
Like
the
Han Solo.
booth, like Han Solo. So you're like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Not only at a booth, but at
The booth.
the booth.
And so for me, I would feel like, oh, okay, this would be cool if he is more like an asshole. Like, hey, you need this money, and you're going to take me with you. And then he betrays him, and then like never dies. he becomes like Hondo's character in Rebels.
Yeah.
But they kind of cool. Let's make him cool. Then also let's make him sympathetic. But then also let's make him like impressionable. Then also let's make him like silly. Then also let's make him. It's like so they did a lot with the character in such a breakneck speed that you're like he almost became invisible at that point. Because
who is he? I've never seen the true.
Yeah,
him.
because you kind of don't stick with him at all.
Where a star power actor could give you that little
It was
idea.
just scene direction.
And that to me, like that's why I would say like Fennec, Ming-Na Wen's character is much better
because you have that idea.
Well, it's
star
like I
power
know
ideal.
who she is. I know what I'm going to get out of it.
Yeah.
And also, it's like I know what I'm going to get out of it. And so when
Yeah.
a surprise can happen, I feel more gratified from it.
Yeah, you're right. Because like especially casting someone like who
I know I'm right. As always.
No,
I'm done.
good.
I'm not going to feed into that anymore.
No,
Go ahead.
don't get the
No, with
satisfaction.
someone like Ben Feldman who doesn't typically play a villain, having that turn
Mhm.
could catch you off guard more. Where his turn, I was like, okay, that's who he is now,
Mhm.
because I don't know who this actor is. That's
Yeah.
a really good point.
Yeah, so that this whole story kind of really took a weird turn for me that like I kind of almost wanted it to be more of Peli babysitting Yoda. I'd rather have that because if it was just going to be Mando go out, shoot something, get caught, she's dead, comes back, and nothing happens.
I think a more interesting take on it could have been to save that character could have been like what you're talking about, where maybe he's gonna betray him, decides not to, and then he dies saving him.
I think
Yeah.
that he shouldn't have betrayed him at all. I mean,
Sure, I'm just saying. I'm just throwing ideas out there.
But I mean, like, kind of in that same way where it's like, hey, you know, like I'm going to be like a bounty hunter just like you. Da da da. It's like, let me know the way, and then it's the audience surrogate. It's like, how do you do this? Where's Beskar armor? Blah blah blah. Now since like, yeah, da da da. It's like I'm gonna get that. We're gonna get the prize money. Blah blah.
Boom.
And then dies.
Yeah.
And it's like
or you
not
see
even-
maybe like maybe he could like be starting to commit to like in a different scenario would be committing to become a Mandalorian. Like he's taking that under his
Maybe.
wing. It's like you're kind of like a foundling in a weird way.
Or
And, like
or maybe if this young bounty hunter had
So you
like
gotta
had like a wife and kid, and
Yeah.
the only reason to turn a bounty hunter because they had to put food on the table.
Yeah.
But then realized
Just
like
making him more sympathetic would.
yeah, one or the other where it's like either you're super douchey but don't kill him, or super sympathetic and then kill him.
Yeah.
So for me,
almost as if like Mando should have woken him up and like worked with the struggles of like
yeah,
that little kid is going through.
Yeah.
Although I liked that moment.
It
Are
was
you
cool.
done? Yep.
You done?
Totally. Just waking you up. I don't have any more columns besides that, but I feel like that's a pretty big one because the whole episode rides on that for me.
Yes.
For me, that was the only thing that stood out to me of like, I don't enjoy that. The rest of it, I was
Mhm.
like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I dig this.
But having said that, it was still cool to get an insight from a lore perspective into like
How you get into the
what it
guild
takes to
and
get into
stuff.
the guild,
I do
the
like that.
pressures, and like yeah.
and I would say also another qualm is kind of like I think a little bit of a boring shot selection.
Sure.
There is a good
Mhm.
shot of Amy Sedaris' character going next to the ship, and the camera follows her through the legs, and it has a really good moment to do a rack focus instead it just cuts away. And I'm like, it's boring.
Yeah. That's Dave Filoni, I guess. Again,
Possibly.
animation over live action,
Yeah.
maybe.
Possibly.
Any other qualms?
Oh, random
Another one?
favorite part though,
Oh, yeah.
when he breaks the fob.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
that's good.
you could tell
Smashes it.
Mando is supposed to be like, what the fuck, man? He's like, no, you have it's all in my head.
Oh, when he
So-
breaks the puck.
Yeah, the puck, whatever.
Well,
yeah. That was a good way
no,
of
he breaks
getting
the
him.
fob.
Yeah.
Yeah, he smashes the fob.
He breaks the plot device. How
Yeah.
about that?
The fob is the deep, deep,
Yeah.
deep. He breaks that, but I'm talking about the kid breaks the puck.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, the puck with all the information
On the
with the little
assassin.
hologram.
Got it.
He breaks it, and then Mando's like, he's like, now you got to take me with you. I memorized it all.
Mm.
So if you want that bounty, you got to take me.
Yeah.
If
So-
there are no other
Yeah, no qualms. No other
qualms,
qualms.
a little bit of Easter eggness, and then what the fan theories
do it.
going around are. So the first Easter egg that I noticed is that cantina obviously is from New Hope.
Mhm.
And do you remember the one rule about that cantina?
No droids.
No droids. And what is it run by?
A droid.
Droids.
Droids. So some shit has changed.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
You think that droid like did some shit?
Also, and someone out there, please correct me on this, but I rewound it and paused it a couple times. I'm pretty sure the droid that pulls up to the cantina in one of the establishing shots is R5
Oh wow.
D4, which is the one
Who's
in New Hope when it's motivator breaks.
oh
And then R2 gets to go
Yeah.
with C3PO instead.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's that droid because there was an entirely canon book that came out that told the story behind that. And that
Really?
he did that on purpose so that R2 could be with 3PO.
Oh weird.
In the book, it's worth the read.
Yeah.
R2 is trying to sabotage R5. And R5's like, yo, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And R2 explains to him that he's part of a rebellion and he's trying to make sure that he gets picked to go with C-3PO. And then R5's like, look, if I don't get picked, if I don't have a owner soon, I'm going to be shut down. So I can't help you out there. And R2 felt sympathetic, so he's going to let him go. That's why R2 is just sitting there being like, meow, meow, meow. But then I guess overnight, in the book, I believe it's overnight, R5 is like reflecting on it. And he's like, I really loved the passion that R2 talked about the rebellion with and what he's doing. And so what he does is he purposefully springs his motivator to make sure that R2 gets picked. So he like sacrifices himself for the rebellion to make sure that the hero we didn't need. I want
to see a movie of that and only beeps and boops.
So they could do that with Wally.
Oh, I know.
So a better arc than this episode.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, a better arc than this episode. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's R5, D4, who has now his fixed motivator. Obviously is living the high life.
That's great. Good for him.
I don't know if you guys remember Luke referring to Beggar's Canyon at all when she says at the end of the episode.
That was very familiar.
Yeah, so at the end of the episode, she's like, take it out of here. I don't know, Beggar's Canyon. Beggar's Canyon is where he shot Womp Rats.
That's what it was.
And then she calls him a Womp Rat.
Yeah, she calls him a Womp Rat.
Yep.
The other thing, and this is one I actually found online, that she's no good to us dead, is the same exact thing Boba Fett says to Vader when they're going to freeze him in carbonite, where he says he's no good to me dead. So I think it was a nice reference on Tatooine where Boba Fett died.
Right.
Quote unquote. Now the theory going around, obviously, is who has the boots and the cape? Who do people think it is?
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Oh.
And this is not I'm going to say something, this is my theory, because it was in the trailer. There's a long cape. I don't know how to
Boba
say.
Fett, I don't think he had a long cape.
This is my point.
Oh, okay.
It's a long cape because the cape goes down to the ankles,
But his
much
cape-
like Mandalorians.
But his cape was down to his shoulder blades.
Yes. So my point is that it's not Boba Fett.
It's Jango Fett.
No. I
don't need a head.
Giancarlo Esposito
Yeah.
has been shown in the trailers to have a long cape that goes down to his feet.
It's Saul Guerrero.
Oh, it's him.
So I'm assuming it's him. That's my theory. Again, it's all trailer based.
It's not Saul
so
Guerrero,
I'm not
everyone.
sure. What's that?
I said Saul Guerrero. It's not Saul Guerrero. It's not Forrest Whitaker.
I'm not.
hermanos.
I'm not. Again, I'm not looking ahead in episodes or anything.
Oh, yeah,
This
no.
is just my theory.
No.
Off.
I mean,
just
if
like
he
a-
becomes a big bad, because that's what happens in Breaking Bad, spoilers as well. It'd be cool if he was like Mandalore.
I mean, that would be really cool. Or Mandalorian or Mandalore.
Like he's like one of the
Like
fucking
the Mandalore?
He's like one of, because isn't there
From
like
their sect?
Mandalore? Yeah,
There's one.
If
there's
that's the
one
case,
active
I
one.
believe he's part of the Empire.
because there is a sect of Mandalorians
that
that
joined the Empire,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
And
he was the one that hired.
there's some other stuff in the
Werner
trailers.
Herzog.
I won't, in case people only watch the trailers once, I won't go into very much. But there's some other information there that I think if he is in it, if it's him, I think he's part of the Empire. But we'll see. We'll have to see. This is all just fucking.
I
theory
mean,
at
we
this
have
point.
3 episodes left.
Or if he says we're gonna start a first.
I know.
order.
I know how Tom would feel about seeing Bobby Fett in this. Not your favorite.
Oh no,
character.
to me, I'd be like redemption period, baby.
Would you be down if it was?
Fucking, to me, okay, look, I love a good like setup.
Right.
Like seeing a certain character show up in Clone Wars at like the 3rd season, and then that character showing up in the 2nd season of Rebels is really cool. And you're like, redemption, because
Yeah.
I only saw you be a piece of shit in this movies, and now you could be cool.
Yeah.
And I would love to see it, because to me, I think that I don't want to not like characters.
Yeah.
I don't like that's a piece of shit character. That's a garbage character. That person's trash. Like if everyone's super dope, then it's like there's so many things you could love about it.
Yeah.
But then if everyone's garbage, it's like, why does everyone fucking?
Because I'll
like
be
it?
honest, if it is, I will not be upset.
No one.
Obviously.
I don't see who would be upset.
I would love a little showdown between Boba Fett
That'd
and
be dope.
Mandalorian.
Well, and like in a world where we're not going to get a Boba Fett movie or whatever, like
And I would
It'd be
also
nice.
be fine with Mandalorian winning that fight.
yeah,
against
sure.
Bobby Fett.
This is the Mandalorian's time, not Boba's.
However, it's unlikely. I feel like.
And
I only like
Boba
my
Fett's-
Boba
I
in my
think
in
if
my
Star
milk
Wars is
tea.
going to do something with Boba Fett, I think they're going to save it for a Boba Fett movie or some sort.
Or it might lead into like, oh, they fight and they don't kill each other, and then it leads into a movie.
or Django had
Yeah.
a second son,
Maybe.
another clone.
Cool. So I
Yeah.
think that wraps us out.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm excited for this show, y'all.
yeah. We have 3 episodes left.
This is like the first cliffhanger we've had.
It's great. It is.
Because most of it just ends with them on a ship. Like,
No, the first episode was a pretty
Closest.
big cliffhanger.
true,
Yeah.
true. But this is like since the pilot. This is the first like non-episodic.
Well, I
kinda-
think we're starting to ramp up to some harder story
Something
things.
big.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. Because how many
We'll see.
episodes are there again?
3. 8
Like
total.
3 left, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think one of them is going to be completely removed from the plot
Really?
because of like, I forget, I don't have it on hand,
Yeah.
but it's like
We
one of
talked
the
about it in the first
episodes.
episode.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
One of them is like a different writer based on a story. That's like none of the
Telling
other
you,
ones is
it's
based
gonna
on a
be-
story.
It's going to be about the Mandalorian.
That'd be dope. Maybe that's what they mean. It's like from the canon somewhere,
From the-
based on
that'd
the
be
story.
From the legends.
Dope. Oh my God. Please.
Yeah.
Please let him like
Um,
tell a story or something.
But anyways, what do you think? Do you think it's Boba Fett? Would you be upset if it was Boba Fett? And do you think the Mandalore would beat Boba Fett?
Put your comments below.
Put your
Like,
comments
comment, sublime, and smash my bike button.
Or you can just come join the conversation with some like-minded individuals over at our Discord at Patreon. Again, you can learn more. nerdon.io/Patreon.
There it is.
And learn a lot more about the show, including all of the other shows we have going on. We have Cables Crusaders. We have the Nerd On the Podcast Popper. We have the Nerd On Update. You can check all those shows out and more. Nerdon.tv.
And
Well done.
add us on everything because we like getting added at.
Make it happen.
So ring us out, Ollie.
You know the drill. As always,
Nerd on.
Ending broadcast.